everybody, welcome back to my channel. It is April 24th, 2019, and I need to set up our budget for the month of May. I'm a little behind on this. Last week was gearing up towards Easter, and then we had Easter weekend, and now we're kind of getting back into a schedule after Easter. I have absolutely no motivation to do this whatsoever. I'm sorry, it's the truth. We learned on Friday, the 19th, that my grandmother had passed, and then a coworker of my husband's had passed unexpectedly. And so the weekend was kind of like a weird funk, like a daze. We still had things we had to do, but just there was like no motivation to do it. And even getting into this week, there is still no motivation to do absolutely any of this or anything that we need to do in general. But adulting, it needs done. So I'm going to set this up. Later today, I will be filming our budget for the week of April 29th, as well as the week of May 6th. We will be out of town for my grandmother's funeral, and so I kind of need to get ahead on things, because if I just let it go and, not keep up with it, I'm going to not keep up with my budget. So adulting comes first, whether we want to do it or not. So we're going to get into this. One thing I'm going to change it to this calendar. I need to take little Post-its out of there. I originally had a classic happy planner for like my at-home catch-all planner, but I switched to a Hobonichi Weeks. I enjoy the Hobonichi much better. It's more portable. So I want to use this as kind of like a cheer me up month. May is the last month of school, the full month of school for us. It is my birthday month. It was my grandmother's birthday month. And so I want some cheerfulness into this, just to kind of help me muddle through. Today is April 24th. Chugging along as usual with bills. There are two new ones for this week. This week was an off week. Remember, there were not many bills for this week that were scheduled to be due this week, but I was going to pay our quarterly propane and pay for my children's spring photos. The other thing that came in was their yearbook order. It's due on Friday. It's $5 for each of them. And then my daughter's bill for her surgery came due. And remember I said we had a $1,000 out-of-pocket maximum for her? Well, we are just shy of that. And I'm actually going to hold on to the remainder of the $1,000 that I saved. Our insurance is saying that her well visit in January, I owe the full amount to her deductible, the full $233, which I should not. It was preventative. All preventatives are covered. So I need to battle that out with them. But in the meantime, the billing office for like the company, we go to a small practice who's kind of like blanketed under a bigger local practice, and their billing company likes the payment within 2 weeks, whether it's, within claims or not. So I'm going to need to save some of that just in case. When the claim goes through, I'll end up having an overage, which will work out for any sick visits that we have, but still, I'm going to save the remainder of this. And because I had put aside, I'd saved part of our tax refund for this. That's what that's coming from. This is going to come from the month overall, but I also need to note that it is one of these random school expenses. $204.09 so far on just random school stuff. And I know that there will be more between now and the end of the year. So this is definitely going to have its own cash envelope next year. Next school year, I should say. All right, so that's the end of this. I haven't even used this. I haven't gone through and divvied out what our categories were this month. This is still working for me though, not really as I thought it would with like overage or underage. I can just see at a glance, you know, whether we were over or under. Mortgage, dance. May should be the last month I'm paying for dance. June, I won't have a dance payment. July, my kids are doing summer, like a little summer, 4-week summer session. August should not, but it will be registration fees for the fall. And then we get back into fall dance classes. My kids know that they're allowed to do one out-of-school activity, like one paid for out-of-school activity, and it used to be soccer. My oldest got a concussion this time last year during a soccer game and was not allowed to play for the rest of the year, wasn't allowed to do marching band in the summer and fall. And so when this dance studio opened up, he went to them for musical theater. My daughter is like super tiny, was constantly being run over by kids and pushed and everything and shoved. And this was in like U5 and U6, where it's literally like you're watching squirrels kind of chase after a ball. It's kind of funny and adorable. But she was just getting so frustrated and she didn't like it anymore either. So they both signed up for classes at this dance studio. Now my middle wanted to stay with soccer and he did in the fall, but he signed up for a dance class just to try it. And I'm telling you, he is so much more relaxed. He used to get bad anxiety about halfway through soccer season, which always lined up with the busy end of the school year season. Like May was insane as far as soccer goes and end of school activities and concerts and everything. And he would start to get anxiety and have issues, stomach pains and everything. But since he's joined dance, it's our schedule is much more relaxed. It's much more tolerable, I should say. Anyways, he really likes it. He has said he's not doing soccer in the fall. He had already said he would when we were coming into the spring. And he's like, yeah, I want to keep doing dance in the spring, but I want to do soccer in the fall. Now that spring is ending, he says, no, I'm going to keep doing my musical theater class in the fall next year. He really, really likes it. He's much more calm, much more relaxed, and he just kind of found his groove, which is awesome. My husband says the kids don't all have to do the same thing, and they don't. They don't all do the same thing. They really enjoy this dance studio, so we keep going. I don't mind budgeting it out. I do have an upper limit though, and they kind of have to pick and choose classes from there. So anyways, long story short, we shouldn't have this payment in June, will in July, registration fees in August, and again in September we'll have this again. So mortgage, budget $550 a month, and I can tell you that's what it will be. Dance, $145.75 for 4 dance classes. Verizon, I budget out $78. It's usually a little less. Dance will actually be this amount. City, I'm gonna budget $200 this month. If I can make more payments on it, I will, but I also need to start saving up for back to school expenses and clothing and all the wonderful stuff of having a now high schooler, middle schooler, and elementary student. This Nelnet will be $65. This Nelnet will be $165. This Chase, usually I budget $100. This is our entertainment expenses for like Netflix, Hulu, streaming services. I normally budget $100. Last month it was $20. I'm gonna budget $50 this month. It was $100 because we had recently changed settings after a billing period went through, so we had like an overage on a certain account. So I'm gonna leave that at $50. Cell phone, $48. This is going to have to change as well with my son going into high school and into marching band. He's going to need a cell phone, so we're going to have to add a line. This one is $200. Electric, I budget $150. We're going to be starting the pool up at the end of May, so that's going to start climbing. Not that it's going to climb above $150. This past month's was $95, but $150 is the highest it ever goes. Insurance, $245. It's been hanging around $230, $235, so I may lower this a bit. Our insurance is for our car insurance on one car, homeowner's insurance, and 5 different life insurance policies, all wrapped into one wonderful monthly payment. And then ortho is $200. I am done paying that in September, and that cannot come soon enough. My son has had $8,000 worth of work in his mouth between 2 different phases, and I cannot be done paying it off soon. Our next payday is on the 15th. I need to mark that in some way. And since we have our base income monthly, our April check, again, is going from April 15th to May 14th. So all these expenses relate to the remainder of April into May. So all of these are already accounted for. I need to account for everything past this payday and into June. So budgeting for $515 to $614. Our main source of income, our non-monthly savings, our medical savings account, our medical sinking account. I don't have an HSA or FSA. I got rid of that in a hot minute. gifting, the company truck, and the car. And then into our expenses. So we have cell, my chase, the electric, the insurance, the ortho, and then the home, dance, Verizon, which is our home phone and internet service. We don't have cell phone service at the house, so we need a landline. It's helpful when like school is closed or the school needs to get in touch with me and I'm not downtown for anything. I am adding in a new category. I'm adding in the allergist. Over the last 3-4 years, 5 years, my allergies have been getting worse to the point that this last time when I went to the allergist for like our routine semi-annual, how's it going? I had no voice. This has been happening for the last 3 years, where in the fall I will lose my voice entirely. And it's been starting to happen in the spring. He did, the little pokes all over the back to see what I'm allergic to, and it turns out I'm allergic to everything environmental except pet dander. Pets are the only thing I'm not allergic to. Grasses, ragweeds, trees, pollens, molds, you name it, I'm allergic to it. This last time I went, I had no voice because it was just starting to warm up. Everything was kind of like in bloom and turning green, and nature was going haywire where we live. And he finally realized that it's not from something else. He had diagnosed me as having GERD. That's why he said that's why I was losing my voice. It wasn't. So he finally goes, you know what? Let's work on shots for you. If this is what keeps happening, my notes say that you're consistent about it. Let's work on shots. So $25 copay every single time I go in for weekly shots for the first 3 to 6 months is $100 each month that I have not accounted for in our medical sinking fund. I will account for them next year. I've not accounted for it this year. So it's gotta come from our monthly budget. Fill it in pencil and run some numbers, and I'll be back in a bit. $205.67 is what this is saying we'll have left. Now, a couple things. I underestimated city for this month because of the allergy shots and because I increased this cash envelopes to $14.70 to start saving for back to school. This is actually higher than I thought it would be, so some of this will go back into city. And again, these are estimates. Like for electric, it was $95 this month, so there's another 50 something that will go to city. Fuel, I'm leaving at $2.50 for now. I have increased it from $200. I may need to increase it again if I'm running down to the allergist once a week. Got to stay down there for half an hour each time. This may increase as well. So this is enough wiggle room personally for me right now. If this needs to increase, fuel prices are also increasing where I live. So if this needs to go up, there's enough wiggle room it can. Or if it doesn't need to go up, this can go to our snowball. So that's what it is looking like right now for the month of May. That's the setup for this month. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my budgeting videos, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Bye.